Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's Benson.
My name's Kristen.
What we are here to do is we're going to talk to you about Walt Disney World while COVID-19 is a thing. So as
Walt Disney World COVID edition.
with COVID-19, a lot of things have changed around the world, especially here in the United States. We've gone from giant parties for no reason, standing within 2 inches of somebody, to social distancing and mask wearing, and
no
apparently
hugging.
reteaching people how to wash their hands. But anyways, we took a trip to Walt Disney World.
We did.
They opened up back in July, I believe. I think it was July 11th is when they officially opened back up.
Was it July?
And so we took a trip in September around Labor Day.
But let's be very clear. This is the first trip that we've done to like a big anything.
We grocery shop when we have to. We
did do the zoo, but
Right. We're very cautious people. Kristen has asthma, Allie has asthma, and we have the baby, so we're very cautious about it. We did a lot of reading, a lot of checking up on the way that Disney's handling the COVID situation before we even decided to make the trip down there. You know, as much as we are preachers of face masks, social distance, wash your hands, we're still get out and enjoy your life as best you can. Just
yeah,
be
we're
careful.
not completely against going out and
Right.
doing things. We just would
Be
prefer
cautious
you
about
be
it.
safe. Yeah.
We want to protect other people.
Right.
So as much as we want to protect each other. Disney Springs was our first thing. Was the first thing we did. We took a trip to Disney
Yep.
Springs, and
The bird in the parking lot at the hotel didn't care about social distancing.
Disney Springs was pretty crowded.
It was.
We went on a Sunday, and it took us 30 minutes to park.
Yeah. Yes. And so, okay. The thing about Disney Springs, and I guess Disney in general to know, is that there are certain masks and things that aren't allowed. Because we didn't know the extent of that. The only thing we knew was that you couldn't wear a neck gaiter. That was the only one that we had known prior to going. And we have a bunch of different kinds of masks.
Yes.
And specifically what I'm talking about is the ones that have the little vent hole.
It's like a ventilator hole.
Yeah.
You're supposed to put
A vent in it, a little filter.
in it, but they don't, because they know a lot of people won't put that filter in there, and then basically you're blowing air out of that hole in like a jet stream at somebody.
Right. So they don't allow those.
It has to be loop behind the ears,
Yes.
2-layer fabric
Yes.
cloth. No mesh, nothing like that.
They check your temperature as you go in.
That's to Disney Springs. That's to any of the Disney
Disney?
World. So they check your face mat. We watched a family get asked going into Epcot if they had anything other than the neck gaiters they were wearing.
Yes.
So they check your mask before you get there. They face temp before you get there.
Yes. And then everything is limited capacity.
Right. All the stores.
So there are lines outside. For pretty much everywhere. I mean, we went into
The
Candy
smaller
Cauldron.
Candy Cauldron. So we went on a Sunday the first time. Candy
Yes.
Cauldron, all the big stores, Star Wars, Marvel.
Everything had
Those
a
had
little bit of
small
line.
lines. A few places we went into was like a chocolate shop that was, you just could only have 4 people in there. So I think our wait was like a half a minute for the other people to come out.
Yes. The biggest one was World of Disney.
World of Disney
that
was
was
the
a
biggest line, but I don't think we waited as long. I think
No,
our
it was
longest,
fairly quick.
I think our longest wait in a line
Lego.
was Legos.
Yeah.
And honestly, the line wasn't that long. It
No.
was just
Well, they only allowed so many people in the line.
Yeah.
Like, because it was in a sunny spot, the people didn't want, the cast members, I was trying to think
the
of their
Lego,
names.
I don't know what they're
employees.
called. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't want a lot of people standing in the sun. So
Well-
what they were doing was directing people to across the way from where they had the line.
To go sit.
To
social
sit, and they
distance
would
sit.
bring them over as the line moved up, so that not everybody was just out in the open and stuff.
If it's hot and you're looking for a cool place, the Lego store is the place to go. Their air
Yeah.
conditioners rocking. Beyond that, though, I mean, like, we ate at the Polite Pig, and like,
It
they
was
social
crowded.
distanced you in the line a little bit, but
Not even,
beyond
not
that,
like seating.
you were next to somebody.
It was not a happy.
I honestly, because we're so careful, like, we ended up cleaning our own table off because they
Yeah.
were so crowded. We wiped the table down and then we sanitized the table before we even sat down. So
But there were like
we're
people
very
who
cautious.
had food from other places that were in the food
Yeah.
area for that place, which I understand because there's not a lot of seating in Disney Springs, like outside and stuff. But it makes it harder to social distance.
Yeah, because they don't limit who can sit there.
Right.
Other than that, though, I mean,
I think that was pretty much all we did that day.
Yeah, we walked
didn't do a whole
around,
lot
just
of-
kind of enjoyed the shopping and the sights and stuff.
Yep.
Got the baby out and stuff. So most people in Disney Springs were constantly wearing their face mask, except for the people who were walking around drinking or eating. I mean, their biggest thing is you're supposed to sit stationary to eat and drink in order to take your face mask off. You're not supposed to walk around and eat and drink while you have your face mask off. So that's one of the big things that I saw was people walking around with their... So, I mean, as far as Disney Springs go and social distancing, it's hard to do because it's a giant shopping center, basically.
I think they're kind of more like expecting people to do it themselves.
Yeah. So that's the one thing, and I'll probably reiterate this entire video multiple times. The social distancing factor is on you as a human being. The constantly sanitizing and washing your hands, that's on you as a human being. Disney's going to tell you to social distance and stay 5 feet apart. They're not going to force that because it's hard to force. And the thing is, if you're standing in a line, you want to keep 5 feet away from the other. If you're just walking past people and you got your face mask on, it's not a big deal. The social distancing isn't that big of a deal. You know, you don't want to bump into people. You want to avoid them as best as you can. But the idea is you wear the face mask to protect each other. And then as you walk past each other, you know, you're not keeping within a contact long enough.
Don't reach out and grab somebody.
Right, you're not keeping in contact close enough for it to really do anything. And that's part of the reason the way it's set up in the parks and stuff too. The social distancing factor is on you. You know, be responsible, social distance, keep your 5 feet from your parties.
Care about your other human beings.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
I will say with World of Disney, if it's not super busy, so like we went on Sunday and then we went on Thursday afternoon. The difference is World of Disney on Sunday there were so many people trying to get in that they only had one door as an entrance, whereas on Thursday they had multiple entrances for World of Disney because it wasn't as many people.
It wasn't as crowded.
They're very on top of. They're very constantly moving things and trying to keep things flowing to keep you as comfortable as possible during the whole process. But what was our first park, Sweet Pea? Epcot.
Yeah.
So our first park was Epcot. No trams were running that I saw, which is not a big deal.
I think they actually have a sign up that says...
It says no trams.
Yeah.
Parking, they basically try and park you a space between each cars, but again, people come in and park wherever they want to as the day gets later.
Well, and so to clarify, it's not a space between each car.
Yeah.
It's you park and somebody parks behind you, and then they leave a space open and park the next.
Walking into the park, people just didn't care. They walked wherever they wanted to. The cast members were there to say, hey, you know, just 5 feet between each group.
Right.
Again, it's on you as a human being to social distance properly.
And they're looking at your mask to make sure you have the right masks and everything.
If you're going, bring extra masks. We actually had a bag of masks because those masks are going to get sweaty and smelly. Within a few hours or so by the time half your day's over, so you're looking for a mask to swap out. So that's a big important factor.
We had a bag. We had several. We
had at least 10.
Yeah,
between the 4 of us that had to wear them.
And we ended up buying one too.
Yeah, I bought her a cool one. So, and they got plenty of masks to buy there, and they're not terribly expensive. I would say if you're looking for a really big face mask, check out the Yak and Yeti, the gift shop next to the Yak and Yeti in Animal Kingdom, because I bought her this elephant one.
It's like literally.
Yeah, it's huge.
I can't wear it.
I think I'm going to start wearing it because I feel like it would cut my beard and hold my beard in place too. It's a massive mask.
It is very big. It's beautiful though.
Yeah, it's got this really pretty elephant on it.
But it's a large.
Yeah. Some of the other face masks that we looked at didn't look that big.
So the Disney specific ones, like the characters.
Yeah.
I actually have a friend. She was telling us about them because they bought them.
Yeah.
And like the small one that's kid size is like too small. It looks like it would fit the baby.
Yeah.
So it just, I think those probably run small, so you want to be careful. You get up to the gate and you go through bag check and everything. Before you even get to bag check, they're checking your temperatures.
Yeah, that's in every park. So going forward, we're not going to reiterate that. Every park, they temp check you, make sure you got a mask on.
So what I was going to say about it is that it's like they have like 5 people in one area, and so they'll move you up to the front one, and then the person behind you, and then the person in the middle, and then 2 people on the side. So it looks kind of like a dice to keep that distance thing.
They do their very best to do no-touch security checks. So basically, You can walk through the security checkpoint with a backpack, the stroller, everything.
Yeah, the only thing you have to take out is your phone.
Phones, umbrellas, water
Keys.
bottles, and battery packs. Those are the things that will set the metal detector off. Honestly, even with none of that in my pocket, I was still setting it off. So I think part of it
Keys.
was my hat, because there's a metal
Yeah.
brim here and they don't realize it. But if they do have to check the backpack, basically, they have you unzip all the zippers and open it as best you can. And then they do their best to check it without having to get all handsy with it. They did a great job, every one of them. And I mean, they had to check our bag every time, which we found out with the baby's bag. We carry her formula in the formula can.
Yes.
And the guy was like, that'll set it off every time.
Yes.
So if you have a formula can,
Just let them know.
yeah, I would take it out and be like, here, this is going to set this off. So, I don't,
Yeah.
and then walk through the backpack, or just understand, if you have the formula can, you're probably going to get pinged to be checked. So security was easy.
Yeah, it was fairly quick. Like they were moving people along pretty quick. So,
And once you
there's
scan,
no finger touch right now, so it's just band scan.
yeah, they only scan your bands and they move you in as fast as they can, because that way you're not touching the same thing as everybody else. Once you're inside the park, though, it's kind of a free for all as far as walking
it's
around.
gonna be
It's on you as an adult. Now, when you're in lines for the rides do have stickers every 5 feet. If you pay attention to those, because some of them will look like there's like 7 feet between one sticker and another sticker, but it's because that it goes around a turn, and they're trying to make sure that you're not standing close to all these people in this turn. So they're very smart about it, because the kids were even asking me about why it looked like stickers were missing.
Because we had to pull them back a couple times.
Riding
but they
rides,
have hand sanitizer again throughout the line. It's not just right at the front.
Yeah, going into the ride, getting off the ride, all around
Like
the park,
in the
there's
middle
hand
of the
sanitizers everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
I mean, they're doing their very best to make sure you have the ability to keep your hands clean, even if you end up touching stuff.
Yeah.
So, overall, I would say riding rides, most of the stuff was a walk-on, even with the social distancing stuff. There were certain rides, like we rode Frozen, and it was a 70-minute wait. We waited.
It rained, though, too, and I think that's why that line was so long.
It's possible, but it was a 70-minute wait.
Yeah,
there were multiple things that were like 30-minute wait. It was literally a 5-minute walk.
Yeah, it was like the time it took you to get through the queue.
So some of the times they boost just to boost, and it slows down the amount of people that come to them. But if it says 70 minutes, hop in line, because there were a few things that said it was like a 60-minute wait, and I think we waited 30 minutes. Like the Millennium Falcon you guys did, it said 60 minutes, and you guys did it in like 35 or something
it
like that.
wasn't as long.
Food-wise, inside restaurants, they try and keep you social distance. We ate at Yak and Yeti, and they, the closest people near us at a table was like 10 or 15 feet, so like almost 4 or 5 tables away. They saran wrap the high chairs after they clean them, so that when you get it, you're getting a clean high chair. The servers and stuff are all doing their best. They don't overly touch anything at your table. They bring in your stuff and set it down and back out as fast as they can. Everybody's wearing face masks. All the CMs are wearing face masks. Security wears face masks. They're doing a phenomenal job.
And they will
trying to make
ask
sure
you
people are
very
safe.
politely,
right,
if you are not wearing it, to fix it.
Yeah, they're very big about making sure you're wearing it. Make sure you're wearing it right. So if it's under your nose, they ask you to pull it over your nose. And if they see you just sitting around without a face mask, they're going to ask you to put the face mask back on, because their policy is you must be sitting down stationary, eating or drinking to take your face mask off.
Eating and drinking.
Actively eating or drinking, right. Because at one point, I had stopped taking a drink, and we were waiting on her and Allie to get off a ride, and me and the baby were just sitting there. Baby was in her stroller, and I'm just talking to her, and I had taken my face mask off, took a drink, and set my bottle down, and honestly hadn't gone back to get a drink out of it for multiple minutes. But I was just playing with the baby, and a customer walked up, and she was like, hey, just a heads up, unless you're actively eating or drinking, we want you guys wearing your face mask. And I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. Threw it back on. There are relaxation stations in different areas of the park where you can go to take off your mask and sit down and eat and drink. But
or
honestly,
not have to eat and drink to have your mask off.
Yeah. But there are plenty of opportunities, like if you're just going to carry a bottle of water with you, to sit down away from everybody else, pull your mask off, and as long as you're holding that bottle, actively drinking, you can keep that face mask off so it gives you a breather and stuff like that. Overall, though, I'd say the face masks weren't an issue.
No.
They made my face sweat.
Yeah.
And I think you got like a little bit of a chafe.
I started to break out.
Yeah.
But that happens whenever your face gets sweaty.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Honestly, the biggest problem for me is I can't do my mustache when I wear it because I use wax in my mustache, and so I'm constantly breathing hot air, and the wax just melts, and I go from like straight mustache to droopy mustache. So,
So there are some downsides to the COVID
Yes.
in the parks. One of the big ones is there's no character meet and greets.
they do character like cavaliers,
Like
character
parade-ish.
parades. Like in Epcot, they do it around
It's
the
very
thing.
how did I describe it the first day we were there? Like walking around a mall,
Yeah,
because it's very like
a mall now.
Yes, it's very like not that it's a bad thing, but it's like very leisure. There's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of Disney magic, I guess is the best way to describe it, because there's not a bunch of kids running around laughing and having a good time. You know, it's kind of like almost somber, and I know that sounds bad, and that's not the way I mean it. It's not a horrible thing. It's just kind of one of those things that you expect of Disney that you don't get.
You don't hear a lot of laughter.
No.
And I mean, I remember when that park was packed to the brim. Some of those parks were like, it was just days where you're like, I don't want to be here. It's so packed. But there was so much laughter and noise
it was
and
happy.
talking.
Everybody was happy.
You could feel the exciting energy.
And it's not that people aren't happy now. It's just a different kind.
Yeah, because you're being so cautious about what you're doing. So we had a great time.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I think the first time it really hit me where certain places lose the match, because like a lot of the shops are closed down, certain things are closed down. We really enjoy the Figment ride. I know that's a taboo thing for a lot of people because we never rode the original. But at the end of the Figment ride, there's a play area and there's no playing.
Because everything's hands-on.
Yeah, everything's shut down. There's no meet and greet. And that was one place, if you just wanted to hear kids laugh and play, you take your kids there and let them laugh and play, and it's gone because of what's going on.
And like all of the play areas that Epcot newly added, like the little jungle gym areas and stuff like that, those are all closed. They don't have those through queues. There, if there's hands-on stuff like in Woody's backyard where the alien swirling saucers, you didn't do that one, but they don't let you touch the buttons and stuff that do all the different things in the queue. It all has a sign that says, you know, not available for your safety.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And it really does. It really kind of takes away the magic of it. Like,
not the magic. It's a different energy now.
Yeah, well, I say magic because it's not colorful. It's almost like if you had taken the color out of stuff and like made it black and white, almost like black and white movies. It's very like bland, I guess is a better word. It's just like the mine train queue, none of that stuff is working. Like none of the glowing stuff that normally is you know, pretty and
a little bit of the
glittery
theming's gone.
Yeah, it's so it's kind of, again, I say magic because that's the best thing I can think of that comes to mind for it. So it's just kind of weird. It's weird to walk around a place that's made for the high energy and laughing and like just kids. Like I said, there's no kids running around. You're not, and this is gonna sound funny and I don't miss it, but you're not getting bumped by like strollers because there's little kids, moms trying to keep up with their kids and stuff like that. Kids aren't playing with bubble wands. They were.
It used to be like every 10 feet you were in a cloud of bubbles, and now it was like, I think once.
It happened one time in Animal
I got
Kingdom.
hit with bubbles, and I was like, bubbles!
Yeah. And I think you scared the kid in front of us who did it. Because it was literally like the only...
Yeah.
And so that's a little weird. It's not like, again, it's not like awful, but it's a weird change.
Yeah, it is. Because because there are certain things that are shut down, it is a weird change. We didn't catch any shows this time, so I don't know how any of the theaters or anything are set up. You know, I know on the rides they try and space you a car or half a car apart. I think when they first started all of this, I saw them like cleaning the ride vehicles in like Splash Mountain. They were spraying them down. That doesn't happen. They're not cleaning these ride vehicles in between each person that rides
it. They shut them down every so many hours or something like that. Like
that I don't think so.
Steve was saying that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was saying that one of our friends was saying that, like, Haunted Mansion, they would close it for, like, a so many time span, and they would clean everything, and then it would reopen.
They're definitely not cleaning in between. That's on, like I said, that's where the social distancing, the hand clean, that's on you as a human being to handle. So.
Yeah, I mean, just sanitize your hands before you get in, sanitize your hands when you get out. Like I said, those stations are everywhere. It's not hard to be respectful. Like,
so I would say for me, if you are a rides only person, it's great because you're going to basically be able to do every ride. Yes. Rode Everest 3 times in 15 minutes. So we didn't do a lot of riding at Epcot because it was a rainy day. Magic Kingdom, everything was a walk on. I think we waited 25 minutes for
maybe at most.
For Big Thunder walked on to Space Mountain. Everything was almost a walk on in all the other places.
We walked on to Aladdin's
Little
Magic
Mermaid.
Carpet, Dumbo, which if you know, Dumbo's usually like super crazy
busy. It's like a
busy.
30-minute, 40-minute wait at least.
We walked on to Mine Train almost. I think it was like 30 minutes maybe wait time. Yeah, it's like, yeah, if you want to hit rides, now's the perfect time.
All the ordering is mobile ordering.
Yes.
Except for a few places. And then the sit-down restaurants. They definitely want you to mobile order as much as you can. They still take cash. They prefer you do cardless.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what
you're.
That's what I was gonna say to remember.
They will still take cash. They prefer you put it on a gift card and use it while you're there.
Which is super easy. You go into like the first gift card, whatever place, and you just get one and load it. So,
all in all, though, if you're a local and you're driving there within a few hours, it's still definitely worth the trip. We enjoyed it. We had a blast. It was nice to get out of the house. It was nice to be out and about and see other people we didn't know.
And I mean, the limited capacity is really nice.
Yes.
Again, you lose a little bit of the magic because of the kids and everything. But it's not bad. It's not like it's not like I would never want to go again if it stayed the way that it is, which hopefully it won't. But you know, the limited capacity, the reservations for the parks is kind of nice. Like, I know a lot of people really love park hopping, and that's cool, and you know, everything, but I kind of like it the way it is, which people probably hate me for saying that, but it's kind of nice because you're not running around to try to hit everything you want to hit because you have plans to go to another park, and you're not running around trying to hit everything because the lines get so long. That, you know, they took away fast passing, and stuff like that, and it's kind of nice not to have to worry about everything. So
right now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so busy during the pandemic. Even on a busy day for the pandemic, it's like a quarter of capacity on any of the normal days we're used to going. Like, there was not a lot of people. Multiple times we were in areas where there was not a single person for 50 feet. So
yeah, I mean, when we got on Nemo, there was like no one behind us at all in the line, and there was nobody in front of us when we went in. So I mean, and we actually stood and talked to one of the cast members after that, and I mean, there were people coming and going, but it was not, there was nobody in there.
If you've never been before and you're gonna and this is your first trip, if you want to experience every little magic piece they have to offer, maybe not right now, so next time wait a few months. But honestly, if you're just there for the rides and you want to get in there and enjoy the parks at a low capacity, it's worth the money because you're going to basically get to ride every ride, which if you planned a week-long trip back in March or February, you're not going to hit every ride.
Then now's a good time for us because the baby's not super like character-y. I kind of sad about it just because I like the interaction.
You like to see the reaction of those characters.
But because she's not, it wasn't like a huge loss. You know, if she was 5 and she really loved stuff, then it would have been a little bit more disappointing. But I mean, I enjoyed, like I said, with the anxiety thing, I enjoyed not having to rush and be worried about everything. Like, yes, I had to be worried about, like, cautious how close this person is to me and stuff, but because Disney's so on top of it, it's not as bad.
And most people, 90% of the people in those parks are as cautious as
Yes.
you are. So the other 5% are easy to dodge. But anyways, that's just our opinion on how Disney's handled COVID-19, what it's like to be at Disney during the whole COVID-19 thing. If you've been, let us know what your experience was like.
Yeah.
If you have questions that maybe we didn't answer in this
If you
30-minute
had a
video,
different experience.
yeah, let us know. We love talking to you guys. We love you. Till tomorrow.